Topping today's news, the government defending the progress being made in its energy reform program. The Ministry of Education welcomes new teachers but still facing a shortage ahead of the new school year. The U.S. Embassy shuts down as it relocates to its new state-of-the-art location on Shirley Street, and a male fighting for his life after being shot on Wednesday night. Jcn Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. The Davis administration is defending its energy reform initiatives after the Free National Movement criticized the government's handling of the power sector. Opposition Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands on Tuesday described the government's highly touted energy reform plan as a failure, with the cost of electricity still high. During a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister today, the Minister of Energy and Transport, Jobeth Kobe Davis, said the government is moving urgently to modernize the power grid.
Or nearing the end of their useful life. In simple terms, most of our engines are tired and struggling. That is why the new energy era is not just a vision, it is a mission we are carrying forward with urgency. Through the new power purchase agreements, we are bringing in modern, reliable, and cleaner power for the Family Islands. The first 3 islands to benefit will be Eleuthera, Bimini, and Abaco, all to be completed by the 3rd quarter of 2026.
The press conference also featured updates from Bahamas Power and Light CEO Tony Seymour, who addressed load shedding, new generation projects on the Family Islands, among other subjects she spoke about.
First and foremost, I want to apologize for the inconvenience on behalf of the entire BPL staff. And I want to let you know that we have teams on the ground who are currently working to install a brand new unit in the power station at Cat Island. So initially what happened is we had a failure on one of the units. Cat Island Power Station has 4 engines installed. We had a failure on one of the units, and about a week later, we had a failure on a 2nd unit, which has now reduced us to only 2 units available at the power station. So while we're conducting repairs on one of the failed units, we're also installing a brand new unit to shore up generation on that island. And we expect to have those completed, I would say, by mid next week.
The government and Bahamas Power and Light officials say despite the criticisms, investments in smart metering, renewables, and infrastructure upgrades will eventually result in more reliable, more affordable electricity. It's the start of the new school year, and the Ministry of Education has just welcomed approximately 70 new teachers into the government's educational system. Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin spoke life into the new educators. She said teaching is a calling of the highest order, one that requires shaping young minds while also building character and instilling hope in students.
This area of education is perhaps the most dynamic space in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So be prepared to anticipate the colorful array that exists in our student population. But do so with patience and empathy, understanding that not all children come to the classroom in a straight line. Some have to climb mountains, dig out of holes, and make their way through mazes to find their place in your classroom.
Hannah Martin closed by reminding teachers that their roles go further than academics. 2 teachers, Ivana Pratt and Konica Rowe. They are both excited for their new roles as teachers in the government system, as they were asked what they are most looking forward to.
Well, for the school year, my plans are to first meet my students, get to know them, get to meet their parents. I want to try bring them from one level to the next. I plan to be a role model to them, to make sure that whenever they leave me, they'll be able to perform the way they should.
I'm looking forward to the big decoration session. I'm looking forward to that, and then I'm looking forward to meet new students, to see where they are and see where I can help them to exceed in life, where they could do better.
As these educators begin their journey, the ministry emphasizes that teaching is not just about lessons, plans and exams, but also about shaping lives. The Bahamas Union of Teachers are voicing their concerns over a shortage of Cuban teachers in the public school system. Just days before the thousands returned to the classroom, Union President, Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson says while approximately 70 new teachers from the University of the Bahamas have been hired, the absence of Cuban educators is creating a gap that the ministry is struggling to fill.
Well, definitely I'm very, very pleased to see the number of young, new teachers that are coming into the profession and generally from the University of the Bahamas. I know, though, that the group is a bit smaller than usual. So we want to say to those of you who are uncertain what career you want to have to definitely think about joining the education profession. I think it's approximately about 70 plus from the University of the Bahamas. But you would also note that because of us not being able to recruit the Cuban teachers, that's going to definitely cause a shortage. But I know that the Ministry of Education has rehired some of our retirees, so that should help to fill some of the gap.
Wilson says Cuban teachers have long been an important part of the teaching corps, and while some will return under existing contracts, the numbers are far fewer than usual.
And I've been actually in communication with a good number of them. So those Cuban teachers whose contracts still have time left, they will return. And then you have a number of them that will return where they will be making a contract between themselves and the government directly. So that's a plus, but it isn't near the amount that we usually get each year.
Wilson adds that while the rehiring of retired teachers may help to bridge the gap, the union remains concerned about how the shortfall will affect classrooms across the country. Well, the Prime Minister says his administration will keep showing up for Bahamian workers because when they succeed, the Bahamas succeeds. His comments come in a statement issued Wednesday as the government signed its 58th industrial agreement since 2021. This one with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union, the BCPOU, where staff will receive more than a 6% salary increase, along with increases to maternity leave and further consideration to mental health issues, among other agreements and features in that deal. Miles Laroda, the minister responsible for the BCB, said the agreement is a win-win.
Have a deal where both parties feel that they have gotten not everything they want, but something that they can carry back to their members for their benefit. I just want to again praise the good faith effort on both sides. Negotiations are done that were done between the parties and not in the public, and that is a good trend that we would like to keep going.
The BCB is led by President Sherry Benjamin. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis said what this agreement demonstrates is the government's commitment to Bahamian workers and that the government is prepared to sit down, negotiate in good faith, and reach agreements that provide fair pay, better conditions, and security for their families. Mr. Davis also commended the Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, describing her as one of the most successful ministers of labor in the country's history. And finally, in this segment, while he has not been officially introduced as the Free National Movement's candidate for the Freetown constituency, 53-year-old Andrew Blue Johnson, owner of Elite Security Agency, is making a strong case to win the FNM's nomination for the Freetown constituency, which includes the Camp Road community. While at a back-to-school event this past weekend, Johnson was asked what can people of Freetown look forward to if he becomes their next member of parliament.
Well, first of all, they can see me, and that's right there. That's precious, because you don't see these fellas when they get elected. They start with that, and once they see me, they will be able to address all concerns. So I'm not gonna say, oh, what I could do and what I'm gonna do. I just need a chance, and I'll show these people. These people know me. Many people came before and promised them the world, and you never see them again until election time.
Meanwhile, Progressive Liberal Party incumbent, the Minister of National Security Wayne Munro, while on Love 97's talk show Issues of the Day with host Christian Jones, was asked if he intends to run for the Freetown constituency in the 2026 elections. He answered like this.
I said some time ago, God willing, and the Progressive Liberal Party Candidates Committee willing, I will be running in the next general election. You gotta hope that God gives you life and health to make it to that, and the party has a process by which it chooses its candidate. And in fact, this month I will be doing the aspirant module, because I was out of the country on business when the first one was held. But that's a requirement of the party, and so I have to comply.
The FNM is expected to name another round of candidates in the very near future. The Coalition of Independents have named more than 20 candidates. According to PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, their final module before the party begins to name candidates is set for the 22nd and the 23rd of August at the party's headquarters on Farrington Road. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.